Hi, welcome to iFlip for Math, Mathcast, Lesson 4-6, Dividing with Zeros in the Quotient. I'm Mrs. Gooding, and our quote today is by Norton Juster, who is the author of The Phantom Tollbooth. He said, "You must never feel badly about making mistakes as long as you take the trouble to learn from them." I really like Norton Juster. His book is so much fun. It's about this boy Milo who gets a little toll booth like as a gift, and he drives through it in his plastic little toy car, and he goes to this land called Digitopolis. Why do you think I like that name? And he has to convince this mathemagician to release these princesses. So anyway, it's got a little bit of math in it, and Norton Juster has an amazing imagination, which you need to have too as a mathematician. Our learning goal today is to divide a 3-digit number by a 1-digit number when there's a 0 in the quotient. So here are our individual lesson learning goals. First of all, learn the division song. If you don't remember it, go back to lesson 4-5 and listen to it again. Practice singing along with the sheet of paper that it's written on. Know those division steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, start all over. Know your multiplication facts. Skip counting is a good idea too if multiplication fact memorization is tough for you. Use estimation to make division easier. And then use zeros in the quotient when needed. We'll work on that tonight. And check your division using multiplication. Here's our vocabulary. Again, the dividend, that number in the house, remember? Divide into house, man. That's the number that's being divided. And our divisor, that's like the terminator, the number that's going into the the dividend. And the quotient, which is the answer to our division problem. Write those down and push play when you're ready. Here's our example, and these are some pictures from the Phantom Tollbooth. That's a dog, that's a clock. His name's Talk. So we're going to do 801 divided by 2. Let's go ahead and see how we do that one. Remember to write down everything I write down and follow along really carefully. This is where you learn how to do it. So 801 is the number that we're dividing in half, because when you divide something by 2, you're dividing it in half. So let's start off with our steps. Divide in the name of math. Multiply, subtract, bring down, start all over. Okay, so 2 is going to go into the first room, which is 8. 2 goes into 8 4 times, because 2 times 4 is 8. So I write my 4 right above that room. And I'm going to multiply now, because I just did my Gazenta, my division. Now I'm going to multiply. 2 times 4 is 8. See how my numbers are all lined up? There's a number above my room on the roof and a number below my room down in the basement. Now I'll subtract. 8 minus 8 is 0. Bring down my next digit. 0. Now, will 2 go into 0? 0 is less than 2. It's too small a room, so I can't go into it. So I'm going to follow my bring down arrows straight back up and write a 0 right over that room. That's really important, or I won't get the right answer. Now I'm going to multiply 2 times 0, because that's the number I just wrote. 2 times 0 is 0. I stayed in one giant column there, all up and down. Now I'm going to subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. And I'm ready to bring down the next digit. All the way down. Now I have a new room. 2 goes into 1. Well, 2 won't go into 1. That's too small a room. It's smaller than the number that's trying to go into it. So I have to follow it back up and draw another 0 there. Now I'm ready to multiply. 2 times 0 is 0. And now I'm ready to subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. Now I'm ready to bring down, but I don't have any more numbers to bring down, and I have a roof over every room in my house. So my 1 down here, not there, not that mark, this mark, becomes my remainder. It's written after my roof. Remainder 1. Now we're ready to check. And this is where you would really catch it if you had only written a 4 here, or a 1 4 and 1 0. I have to write 400 over here because that's my quotient, 400. And I'm going to multiply it by 2, my divisor. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. And 2 times 4 is 8. Now I add my remainder. Here it is right here, plus 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 0 is 8. If my product here matches my dividend, then I know that my answer of 400 remainder 1 is correct. Put a box around it to prove that that's your answer. Now we're going to try some practice problems. Remember, you can always go back and re-watch the example and look back at your notes. That's why we write those in our journal, so that we can look back and see what we did before. Here's our first practice problem. 840 divided by 6. Go ahead and work that in your journal, check it, and then push play. Did you write 140? Let's see how we did that one. So 840 is our dividend, so we're writing it inside the house, and 6 is our divisor going into the house. So let's write our symbols out to the side. Divide in the name of math, multiply, subtract, bring down, start all over. I went a little low that time. Let's see, let's go into our first room. 6 goes into 8. Let's see, 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. That's too big. So we'll write a 1 right above that 8. We're staying right above that room. 6 times 1 is 6. Now we'll subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. See, I'm all in that one room. But now it's time to bring down, so I'll bring down the next number so that we can go into the next room. 6 goes into 24. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24. So we'll follow that arrow straight back up and write our 4 right above that room. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 minus 24 is 0. Bring down the next number, which is 0. 6 goes into 0. Well, 6 can't go into a room as small as 0. It's smaller than the 6's. So we draw a 0 right above our last room. 6 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Now it's time to bring down. I don't have anything else to bring down, so I'm done. It might seem silly to go through this process right here of finishing the problem up once we've filled in a roof for every room in our house, but that's important. If we don't do it, we're very likely to make a mistake. So I'm not going to write remainder 0 up there either, but I am going to check. Remember, I multiply the numbers outside the house. It already looks like a multiplication problem. 6 times 140. Six times 0 is 0. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. Already my product matches my dividend exactly, so that means my quotient is correct. So it's time to practice with word problems. It's a toll booth question. 856 cars drove through the Phantom toll booth in 8 hours. How many cars drove through each hour? So we know we're breaking our cars up into groups of 8 because we have 8 hours. So we're going to divide our total number of cars, 856, by 8. Let's go ahead and see how you do on that one. Try it. Then check it and push play when you're ready. Did you write 107 cars? Let's see how we did that one. So we'll write our symbols down the side. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, start all over. So 8 is going to go into the first room, which is 8. So it will definitely go into it. 8 goes into 8 one time. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 minus 8 is 0, which means we're ready to bring down that next number, which is a 5. Now 5 is smaller than 8, so there's no way 8's going to fit into 5. So when we do 8 goes into 5, we're going to follow that bring down arrow straight back up and write a 0 over that room. 8 times 0 is 0. We still go through all the steps even when it's 0. 5 minus 0 is 5. See that nice big column right there in that room? Now I'm ready to bring down, on a very long elevator ride down, the 6 to that bottom room. 8 goes into 56. Let's see. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 7 is 56. That's it exactly. So I follow my bring down arrow straight back up and write my 7 right there. 8 times 7 is 56. Now I'm ready to subtract. 56 minus 56 is 0. Now I'm ready to bring down, but I don't have any more numbers to bring down, and I have a roof over every room in my house, so I am ready to check. And I have no remainders, which is good to know. There's my check. I'm going to multiply all of the numbers outside the house, the divisor times the quotient. See if you can impress me tomorrow by having those terms memorized too. 8 times 7 is 56. Carry my 5. 8 times 0 is 0. Plus 5 is 5. 8 times 1 is 8. I didn't have any remainders to add, and my product is the same as my dividend, which means that my quotient is correct. It's time to challenge yourself. There's Mr. Jester standing in the Phantom toll booth with Talk next to him. Mr. Jester is shipping 278 copies of the Phantom toll booth to Eagle Glen. If he can fit 9 books in each box, how many boxes will he need to ship all the books? This isn't just a division problem. This is a real-world problem, something you would really have to think about in real life. So use your common sense to kind of figure out what your answer is. I hope everybody tries this challenge problem today because it's the same thing we've been doing all day, just with a little real-world application. Make sure you show your work and write your answers in your flip journal. And come back tomorrow. Remember, we're going to use our peer collaboration to share our answers with each other. Finishing up, there's a picture of the Phantom toll booth with a glass of milk. It sounds like a great idea. I may have to go pick up my copy over from the bookcase and get myself a cup of tea right before I go to bed. It's time to review your learning goals. Have you mastered all of them? Do you need to watch the video or certain parts of the video again? That's okay. If you're still really confused, just write that down in your journal. I don't want you to be worried about it. That's why I'm going to be in class tomorrow, to help you figure everything out. Make sure you write down if you're a 1, a 2, or a 3 level in your learning. Also, just have some fun with this, no matter what. This is just a fun thing to learn, and we're going to enjoy it. It's like it's a puzzle. You have completed lesson 4-6, dividing with zeros in the quotient. I can't wait to see you tomorrow.